Trump just announced he wants to block his critics on Twitter again. Chrissy Teigen's response is perfect. While the world is focused on Trump's failed attempt to snub the Philadelphia Eagles by playing the "they didn't reject my invitation, I never invited them in the first place" card exclusively reserved for elementary school feuds, many have missed the other incredibly childish fight Trump is taking up. President Donald Trump is asking an appeals court to restore his power to block critics on Twitter, tweeted Associated Press's Zeke Miller. In May, Judge Naomi Reiss Buchwald ruled it unconstitutional for the President of the United States to block an individual on Twitter, calling the social media platform a designated public forum from which Trump cannot exclude individual plaintiffs. Buchwald also rejected an argument by the Justice Department that the President had a right to block Twitter followers because of his associational freedoms. In her opinion, Buchwald said, "This case requires us to consider whether a public official may, consistent with the First Amendment, block a person from his Twitter account in response to the political views that person has expressed, and whether the analysis differs because that public official is the President of the United States." The answer to both questions is no. By Trump's own legal standards, the bang of her gavel should have been the end of the discussion. Instead, the same man who has spent the last year railing against the excessive cost of special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election wants to waste time and tax dollars litigating his ability to block people on Twitter. Internet-savvy supermodel Chrissy Teigen put it a but more succinctly, "The goddamn president is such a fucking petty and fragile brat," she tweeted. "If anyone can spot a frantic tantrum, it's a mother, and Chrissy just had her second kid. She's exactly right, though, the man is a petty brat." She's also correct when she calls him fragile, though that word carries a much darker connotation. It was only a few months ago that Trump dubbed North Korea's Kim Jong-un Rocket Man in a speech in front of the UN after the dictator threw a similar jab at the president. A person with such an inflated sense of self does not possess the capacity for empathy, an essential component of a successful leader. A man whose ego bruises as easily as Trump's has no business in the Oval Office. Honestly, he should probably take up knitting.